Hello, everybody, and welcome to Sail Along Sewing. I'm Alethea. Thanks for coming. Today, how do I find my lengthwise grain on my fabric? That's a question that we're going to answer today. Stay tuned. If you look at your fabric closely after you purchase it, you'll see two ends that has a finished type look. These ends are like that when they come off a boat of fabric. These are the manufacturer woven edges, and they are called the selvages. They are the finished edges of the fabric, so the fabric does not come apart, and they are called the selvages. And this is your lengthwise grain. The arrow that is printed on a pattern piece is the straight grain line. Grain lines are printed on the patterns as a straight or curved line to show where on the fabric this piece should be placed. Most of the time, the arrow should line up with the lengthwise grain of the fabric, which is your serge. So you place your pattern piece down on your fabric, measure from the arrow to your serge on both sides, making sure they are the same length and even and straight. Then you pin. You don't want to have the arrows uneven because your garment is going to come out distorted. It's not going to come together like it's supposed to come together. That's very important. The arrows has to be straight and aligned with your lengthwise grain, which is the selvedge. So to recap, the lengthwise grain is your selvedge running along the selvedge, and the selvedge is the manufactured ends of your fabric. They're intact and will not come loose. And you have two edges, and the grain line arrows are supposed to be pinned along your lengthwise grain, which is the selvedge. And the crosswise grain runs perpendicular to the selvedge. They're on the side. The top is your manufactured edges, and the selvedge, and your crosswise grain is running along perpendicular to the selvedge. Crosswise going down, and the manufacturer edge is your lengthwise. Okay, even after you have cut some fabric, you still have that manufacturer off the weave edges here. These are still your selvages, and you can still see them very clearly. They still running along the same line, and on the edge is the cross grain, the pieces that fray or come apart. Your selvedge stays intact, and I can still fold this if I needed to, and it still will be on the straight grain if I needed to put a piece of fabric on this little bit of fabric. I mean a pattern on this little bit of fabric here. So you can never lose your selvedge unless it's very, very finely woven, and you have to look real hard, but you still will see it. It will still be some type of indication of which is the salvage and which is your cross grain defray. Salvage stay intact, manufacturally woven. So that's it for today. Okay, if you needed to do a lengthwise flow, again, this is your salvage. Even though I've cut pieces off of this, I know that this is still my bottom of my salvage edge. A lengthwise fold would be like this, with right sides together. And this is your fold line. And the salvage is still running this way, and your cross grain is running this way. Salvage edge, crosswise edge. And you can also do a two lengthwise fold. A two lengthwise fold. Again, this is my salvage, and I know this is my salvage edge. Even though I have cut pieces of it, it's still running lengthwise. Here are two folds. And the fold, if you have a pattern that has place on the fold, you will place that arrow on these. You will place that pattern exactly on the edge of this fold, or a fold. This is called two lengthwise fold, and this is just a lengthwise fold, meaning the salvages are running at the top, cross grain at the side. That's all I have for today. Thank you for joining, and I appreciate each and every one of you, and all of the new supporters, and all of the supporters as well. Sweet sewing inspiration. Thanks for coming. See you in my next video. Bye.